Tonight I'm going to be mixing Jameson Irish whiskey and Coke because I'm classy like that. Alright, welcome to another episode of It's the Booze Talking. I'm your host, James Jacobson, and yeah, let's just jump right into this. Starting off at a 0.13 on the old breathalyzer. So, without further ado, cheers. Funny thing about Jameson, so obviously my name is James Jacobson, and you know, I had a teacher in high school. He'd always calling us by our last name, right? And you know, if you didn't have your homework, he actually made you get up out of your seat, walk to the back of the class, and stand there for the rest of the class period. You know, people for some, even though I have like the most generic white boy name in the world, James Jacobson, people get it wrong all the time. Jim Jacobus, Jason Jackson, Jacob Jacobson, but in this particular case, they consistently called me Jameson. And at the time, this was in high school, at the time I didn't actually know what Jameson was. Single day, and one day I flat out refused to answer to Jameson. And the funny thing is that, so, you know, he's calling roll, and he called roll, you know, every single day the same way. He'd call out, you know, like, Samantha, blah, 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 Jameson. And that day I didn't say anything, even though I was sitting right there, right in front of him. I looked at him, and I didn't say a word. Jameson! I didn't say anything. Listen, and I stood up, and I was like, if you're gonna call me by my last name, at least get it right. My name is Jacobson, not Jameson. And everyone in the class was just like, silent. He had my number, because he just kind of cocked his head to one side, got this like impish little grin on his face. He's like, well, you know, come to think of it, the only Jameson I know comes in a green bottle. And everyone in the classroom laughed their asses off. So, cheers to you, Mr. Newport. As a high school teacher, you are the one who introduced me to Jameson Irish whiskey. And I love it to this day. Here's an interesting one. Which Civil War general is your spirit animal? Well, I don't know if this was necessarily a Civil War general, but I would say General Moonshine is going to be my spirit animal, because moonshine is the only spirit that I know how to make. And it comes from the South, right? And that was a big deal during the Civil War. Yeah, okay, there we go. Next is Marry, Fuck, Kill. Aretha Franklin, Whitney Houston, or Donna Summers. Alright. I'm gonna say kill Donna Summers. She's out. Marry Aretha Franklin, cause you know that girl can cook. And fuck Whitney Houston. Even, well, I'm assuming these things when they were not dead. But yeah, fuck Whitney Houston, because, you know, she was a party girl. I'm sure she was fun. You get offered a spot on Captain Nemo's submarine and are only allowed 3 personal items to take with you. Food, hygiene products, and uniforms being provided. What would they be? I think one of the first personal items that I would carry with me would be a camera. Bring a camera with me. Take some photos of these like amazing underwater scenes that we'd be getting. I'd be like the first Jacques Cousteau. Bring some sort of like personal heating device, because not too many people know this, but submarines get really, really cold. As adventurous as I am, I still like to be comfortable when I'm away from home. In terms of personal items, squid repellent. What is something that you've always wanted to do but haven't had the chance? That's a great question. I would say well, I mean, like, there's lots of things, but one thing that I would really love to do but haven't had the chance yet would be go to Burning Man, which finished recently for this year, and you know everyone's coming back, and they're saying how great of a time they had, and you know. When I had the opportunity to go, I didn't have the money to go, and now that I have the money to go, I don't have the time. So you know, that's just the way it goes, I guess. But yeah, I think that it would be really interesting to try and go to Burning Man one of these days and like see the spectacle for myself. We are now at a .22. Good for me. Greatest plot twist in a movie. Man, gotta say, ending of Titanic. I never thought that boat would have sunk. What properties of cows make me feel like a badass motherfucker when I wear my leather jacket? The reason you feel like a badass is because you're basically wearing armor around day to day. So, good on you. If clouds have names based on their shape, like cumulus and nimbus, does turds also have? Now I'm reading that exactly as it's written here. Does turds also have? Maybe they do. Like maybe they name some turds like serpentine turds, or others might be sausage-like or boudinage turds. I mean, like, these would be things that I would use to describe my poops. So I don't see why. But as far as I know, there aren't any, like, cumulonimbus strato poop going on. But, you know, like, I can see where this would be useful. Why doesn't my music sound different when I turn my speakers upside down? Why don't we drop a bunch of noble gases into Syria to make everyone peaceful? If juggalos are all family, is it safe for them to breed with one another? I don't think it's safe for any juggalo to breed with anyone. What kind of seed do I need to grow a power plant? Why are geologists so interested in dating relatives? Well, sure does get lonely out there. Why are rocks? That's all it says. Why are rocks? You couldn't give me anything more. Like, why are rocks hard? Or why are rocks around? Moron. If I drank enough vinegar, would it neutralize the acid in my stomach? Well, no. Because isn't vinegar an acid? So you're not going to neutralize an acid with another acid. You need to go back to chemistry class, my friend. If you can have your cake and eat it too, can you pick your nose and eat it too? Well, technically you can pick your nose and eat it too, but you don't want to, so don't do. I mean, it's at least with cake. You have cake, you eat cake. Cake's something that you want to eat. You don't want to eat the things that are coming out of your nose. I mean, that's gross. It's just gross. You don't want to do that? Come on now. Yeah. You barbarians is what you are. If what goes up must come down, then what happens if it goes down first? Well, if it goes down first, then you're going up. How can I turn myself into a chick magnet? Well, as you may or may not be aware, magnets work by attracting things of opposite charge and repelling things of like charge. So, what you don't want to do is you don't want to repel chicks, right? So, chicks being chicks, you don't want to be a chick, because that would then repel chicks. And if you've ever seen one or more chicks all in a group, you will immediately know that this property is true because they all seem to hate each other. So, you want to be the opposite of a chick, right? You want to be negative chick. So, take that as you will, but if you want to be a chick magnet, there, I'm assuming you're asking, how do I attract the chicks? Well, as the man said, you get your money for nothing and your chicks for free.
Your motherfucking money for nothing. And the chicks for free. You get your money for nothing. And you get your chicks for free. All the chicks are for free. All of the chicks, they are free. And you get your money for nothing. That's what you doing.
I think that's about all the time we have for tonight. I hope you had a lot of fun. I know that I sure did. Remember, if you like what you see here, go ahead and hit like or subscribe. And please, by all means, leave comments in the comment section below. Or you can always email me at theboozetalking@gmail.com. And as usual, salutations, good night. And I leave you with, even though you're not sure how to do something, it's no excuse for not doing it. .07. So I sobered up a little bit this time. Sorry guys, I don't know what to say.